Hey, beautiful soul, welcome back to my channel. My name's Astara and I'm an angelic communicator and clairvoyant. And this is a message for the divine feminine today. We're in October, but this might apply to whenever you end up hearing this video. But in this October, we're having a lot of touch points with twin flames. We're having a lot of contact points, a lot of kind of reunions, and maybe people who have been in separation for quite a while are definitely having a reconnect with their twin. There's a lot going on here, and I want to talk to you about something that really kind of bothers me. And I think it's an important thing to realize when you're divine feminine. And this is about the divine feminine going through an awakening of her own. And this is about not romanticizing your twin to the point of accepting bad behavior. Even if someone is your twin flame, or even if they're a soulmate or a karmic or whoever they might be to you in this world, it's really important we begin to not accept bad behavior. And there are lots of reasons for this. One of them being that part of your evolution in this journey, part of your spiritual evolution, is that you're learning to understand and discern the difference between love, which is your mantra for being, probably like this beautiful love quality you bring into the world, and attachment, because a lot of the time the divine feminine hasn't been met in the way she needs to be met. So that kind of means that the standards and what she accepts for herself become lower. And that is not of any fault of your own. I would like to say this. This is all about the distortion in the matrix. And what we've learned here is that people devalue others to make themselves feel better, and devalue others to make you easy to control. So when you get devalued, your standards lower. And I really want you to know that this is not how it's meant to be. And I think you know that inside of yourself. So it makes it easier to do this video, to understand that you're learning about what is love, and the value of your love that you're bringing to the world, and what is attachment in the form that it creates a codependency, or it puts you in a place where you are receiving less for who you are than you should be. We're also learning about devotion and self-abandonment. On the divine feminine pathway, you will have a programming around devotion. Forgive me if I'm saying this and you don't have that, but most divine feminines I see have a devotional quality. They want to devote themselves to love, and usually in their twin flame dynamic, they want to do that. They want to give and offer this amazing love they have, because they know that it amplifies love in the world, and they know that it will make their twin feel better, and they know it will make the world better, like a brighter place. There's this just knowing that that is right, that's a good thing, and that's right. But in this distortion of the matrix that we are living in and we've grown up in, often the devotion comes at the price of abandoning yourself. And self-abandonment is something that we never want to do. So this is where the twin flame connection becomes really powerful, because we know it is an awakening. It's a way of empowering you through, pushing you through like a really difficult experience, or maybe many different experiences that are difficult and challenging. So we know that the twin flame journey is cosmic, it's magnetic, it's larger than life, it's bringing you into contact with your twin who you probably never thought you'd meet. And the connection actually activates you in such a way that you just want to open. Like, that is natural. You're having a heart awakening experience. You'll just want to open yourself and like give yourself to this situation. That's totally understandable. However, you'll notice that your twin will not reciprocate. At some point, they will pull away. You'll say things to yourself like they're running because they're scared, or their soul loves me even if their actions don't show it, or something like this. You'll notice incongruence, like the behavior and what you feel, like what you know to be true. You'll notice that. And I'm going to do a whole new video on that because I think that's a really important part of this journey. And whoever needs to hear this, I just want to say here, like, making excuses is kind of natural. Like, people do it. But I would say this isn't the place to do it because it keeps you in a kind of fantasy about who that person is, what the truth is here. And look, here is the truth. Love does not ask you to not be yourself. Firstly, love does not try and shrink you into a version of yourself which doesn't feel comfortable and doesn't feel good. Love definitely does not ask you to doubt your self-worth. And if anybody is doing that to you, if anybody's trying to devalue you, especially if it's your twin, then it's time to reclaim your sacred space inside yourself. As many of you will know, I am priestess of the goddess. I'm a priestess of Avalon. I did a lot of trainings in Glastonbury, and that was a kind of soul calling. And since then, I've had a lot of work with working with the goddesses, even before then. And one of the things I have learned on the goddess path is to embrace the shadow, to embrace the shadow hunt, to have the bravery to let go and surrender into the dark and allow yourself to get reformed there, to get reforged. And one of the things I learned from that experience was how strong the divine feminine is. And I don't mean strength like lifting weights, although, yeah, they could probably do that too. But it's more like a kind of strength which makes you pretty much unbreakable and unfuckable with, if you like that term. I think that's true. It doesn't mean that you're not on a process of learning, but anyone who thinks the divine feminine is a fluffy pathway, it's not so, because it really does get you to embrace your shadow and to look at yourself in a very clear way, because we're trying to dispel illusion here. We're trying to dispel the little hooks and illusions and fantasies that try to take you out of what is real. What is real? And I think when people fall in love, like people talk about, oh, wearing rose-tinted glasses and all that sort of stuff, there can be, yeah, there definitely can be a choice to not look at the dark, not look at the bad behavior, because maybe you want that loving quality or that relationship or that person or whatever it is, you want them so much. Or you want them to want you so much that you're willing to change yourself to fit a version of something, a projection maybe that they're placing on you, or a projection that you're placing on yourself, or something like this, something that takes you into a distortion of who you are and not really the truth of who you are. So the divine feminine kind of awakens when she realizes that unconditional love does not mean unconditional tolerance. Mm. And that you can love someone at the soul level and still choose to walk away from their human behavior. This is not rejection. It is actually reverence, reverence for yourself. And in your twin flame dynamic, I see that as reverence for your twin as well, because let's face it, we don't want a mirror of distortion. And if somebody is acting in a distorted way, like if they have an ego mountain that they can't climb over or they can't begin to dissolve, or they've got too much pride, so they don't feel they can text you, or maybe they don't value you, maybe they don't see you as precious, maybe they are playing games on you, or, all the stuff people do to one another in this awful, distorted, guttery world that we sometimes live in. And I just want to say here that, I believe the world is beautiful too, but there are some pretty bad behaviors going on. If you are choosing to walk away from bad behavior, then this is actually showing you that you are honoring yourself. You're honoring the divine in yourself. You see yourself as precious. You see yourself as worthy. You see yourself as deserving more for who you are. Here that I discovered the other day, and it was after one of these cycles, where you have a touch point with your twin and then you go into a cycle. I I felt pretty bad because their behavior was pretty off. And then I just had this meditation and I came through and I had this kind of clarity that I just deserve better than this. Everything I presented in this situation with them has really been in alignment with what I would say is our higher self, trying to offer a non distorted view of connection with integrity, with love, to have some sort of purity in a world that is pretty insane. When I realized that actually my twin, and I do have a lot of compassion for him, couldn't meet it. Like he can't meet it yet. Like he can't, maybe he'll never be able to meet it. Who knows? I trust that he will at some point. It didn't mean that I had to join him in that distortion. In fact, it was the most powerful thing I could do was to step away and go, no, I'm holding this sacred space until you're ready to come and meet me in it. And this is interesting, isn't it? Because I also see that as honoring this goddess quality that I honor. I honor the goddess. I think she brings us so much beauty in our lives. And I think that's worth standing up for. I think that's worth having some integrity for. And I'm willing to do it. I am willing to do it. But other people aren't. And until they get there, there isn't any point in asking anybody to do something that they're not ready to do. They haven't gone through the processes, they haven't gone through the initiation stages to understand what is valuable, what is right, what is working with integrity, what is going to make us whole, what is the world we want to see here. So this journey is about showing you that, like, what are you going to stand for? What are you going to stand up for? And I think with the divine feminine process, that healing these parts of yourself that once believed were not worthy of love, or they had to accept less, or maybe they had to change themselves to be a certain way, or maybe you earn love through pain, or something, some distorted idea of what that's about. I think this journey is about learning that your energy, your power, your presence, your loyalty to your twin are sacred. They're sacred offerings in a world where many things are not sacred anymore. And not everyone, not even your twin, deserves them if they cannot meet you in truth and respect with authenticity and a loving heart. Or even if they can't even get there yet, they're trying to get there. You've got to stop romanticizing the chaos if you are, romanticizing the ghosting or the breadcrumbing, or you've got to really begin to see that actually all of these behaviors, even if you love them, are putting this fantasy of what it could be above the truth of what is actually happening. So, this is when you step into your divine feminine power and you begin to align yourself with truth. And to align yourself with truth can be very, very uncomfortable. I decided a long time ago I'd rather be in my truth than live a lie. And I think you'll probably be the same. So when you step into that power, that divine feminine power, and you stop chasing, you stop trying to romanticize a situation that isn't coming through in the right way, and you start embodying that truth, I believe this is the crux point where things begin to shift. I know that my personal ick is that I tend to get really sort of go more into anger than softy waftiness. And I've had to deal with a lot of victim mentality in myself. And I do believe there is a lot of clearing of that in this journey. And it's a good thing because the more we can clear any sense of victim in ourselves, then the more empowered we can become. In this twin flame journey, you are on this journey of awakening too. You want your twin to awaken and leave the matrix, but you are also on this beautiful journey of awakening. The destination here isn't necessarily what you think it is. I believe that twin flames are romantic if they want them to be. If they don't, that's fine. But you know what your soul level choice has been. Deep down into yourself, you'll work out what that knowing is for you. You might want to acknowledge that if someone's not treating you right and they're not giving you the space to express your feelings, or for them to express their feelings, or they're just seeing you as a sexual object, or they're just wanting to use you in some way. You don't have to put up with this, because the destination in this journey is your own self-empowerment as well. It's your own connecting with your alignment, with your soul purpose, with your deep sense of connectedness to self, and knowing that you have always been whole and beautiful and worthy of respect. The peace within you is valuable. It's valuable. So if you've been holding on and waiting for someone to treat you right, then let this be your sign. Let this video be your sign that you're not here to suffer for love. You're here to remember that you are love. You are the love. And it's kind of cheesy, isn't it? But you are the love you've been waiting for. And actually, you are the love that your twin has been waiting for. But you have to also show that that's valuable, because they might need to learn that. They might need to be taught that, because they might not be able to be receptive to it yet. But definitely, when you start withdrawing that love and looking after yourself, they will become more aware of it. Absence for the masculine is a deep wound. And not that I want to trigger people all over the place, but sometimes we need to be triggered so that we can go into our shadow and begin to see what's there, and to integrate those parts, those lost parts, those missing parts, so that we can become whole. I'm noticing that people are not always giving their loyalty to people who deserve it. And I see the divine feminines do this, and I've definitely done this too. And so if you give your loyalty to someone who hasn't earned it, then it actually puts you in a bit of an awkward position, doesn't it? Because they haven't earned your trust, and you give them this loyalty and you give them your energy, and if they haven't earned it, then it's a kind of a waste, isn't it? So giving your loyalty to someone who has earned it, someone who sees your light and honors it, someone who will protect you and not leave you out in the cold, leave you standing on the cliff edge on your own, then until that person arrives, it's going to have to be you that you give your loyalty to. It's going to have to be you that you give your love to. And when your twin or whoever else comes into your life and is able to prove in some way, who's able to earn that trust and loyalty from you, then that's when you can enact that beautiful gift that you have chosen to hold on to for yourself until someone's ready to meet it. And this means choosing yourself every day, choosing your loved ones, choosing people who light you up. Keep choosing you, keep choosing yourself as this beautiful beacon of light. And you have to keep it glowing. You have to keep glowing and growing and just being who you are. Because actually, the world needs you. The world needs you. I need you. I need all these divine feminines around, because it gives me hope that we can actually hold the line and create a sacred space and begin to change our world. And the sacred masculines will just have to do whatever they're doing until they're ready to come and meet us. And if your twin flame is unable to do that, there will be other ones that will. I can really see that even in the younger generation. I can really see these beautiful beings coming forward to light up the world. Just because you're a divine feminine doesn't mean you have to wait. You are rising, you are gaining clarity and strength all the time. And if you devote to your own heart and what is good in the world, devote to that. Take your attention away from any bad behaviors. You will actually feel nourished by this, and you'll feel the warmth and love that you deserve through this process. You know that at some point this will click. And even doing this action of taking your love and devotion towards yourself is actually creating a kind of vortex between you and your twin, which pulls them into another cycle. So thank you so much for tuning in today. I've really enjoyed meeting my divine feminines. If you want to come join me on the Mondays, I'm doing these lovely meditations. We had different goddesses we've been working with and angels in the meditation to do an energy reset every Monday. Go to my link tree and have a look there and book. If you want to do a soul session or a twin flame clarity session, or even an Akashic record section, come and join me, and you can see that on my website or on my Instagram or link tree.